Okay, guys, we're live on YouTube. Is it ready? Okay, thank you, Vic. So I'll close it on my side. Okay, let's start. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the weekly outlook. Glad to see so many of you in here, but still not that much. I would assume there'd be much more people in the room, so hope you guys are. We still get the same view on YouTube, but hope you guys can make it live next time. More people can make it live. Before I start, there's one warning I want to put out to everybody. I think some of you here might have received that message. There are spammers out there who are trying to use my name to scam you. So you have to be careful. There is one goes by the name of Michael, some kind Michael. He is contacting you on Facebook and on WhatsApp, asking you to open accounts because using my name, saying I've sent him to you to ask you to open accounts with some specific broker. Please don't do that. That's not true. I don't send anybody anywhere, and I basically don't make contact with any trader. I do not contact you for anything. If you're interested in my course, you contact me. I do not make the first contact. I do not ask you to join any broker, and I do not ask you to send any money to open any account at any broker. So don't do that. Actually, there are 3 people who sent me that message already complaining, right, about it. We have his, I think he may be listening to this webinar, so let me inform him what happens. We have your phone number, whether it's phony or not, doesn't matter. We have your bank account that you give to one of the people who are going to promise you they're going to pay you. So we have your bank account, we have your phone number, we have your address, and we know where you are. All of that is going to the police. Because I'm asking all 3 of these people, well, 2 of them not in the US, but we will lodge the complaint on their behalf in the US. He's from Texas. And that complaint will go to the police. And if it continues to get more, we will probably ask the police to see if they can talk to the FBI about it. Because he's asking people to open an account of $5,000, $10,000, and that money will be scammed. So just be aware. We know who you are. You know, I think the funny thing some of these guys think is if you do it online, it's safe. You know, you can scam people online and you don't get off that easy. They can find you. So if any one of you been contacted by this person, don't even get involved with him. We're literally going to lodge a complaint. And there are a few more other sites that I noticed they're using my name. Like one guy's copying my Facebook page literally and sending you messages. I think some of you may have got that message as well. Well, I reported to Facebook. They blocked twice. They blocked those the pages were copied. And I send a note to them telling them this had happened twice, an email that this has happened twice, and they need to take more precautions than the IP addresses. As well as if it happens again, I will be reporting it to the police. Right? There's identity theft. And a few more things. So we're going to take these cases very seriously now. If you're one of the people doing it for mischievous reasons, you need to be careful. Right? Because we're going to lodge complaints a lot. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You may think you're hiding somewhere in, I don't know, India or another third world country because one of them was from India. And you wouldn't be caught. Think again. Just think again. What you're doing is dangerous. Right? It's not affecting me, but it's affecting people who are out there being scammed and using my name. So please be careful. It's a warning for all of you. Anybody contacting you saying that they are from my behalf, that I send them, and I didn't. They're getting your names from my Facebook page or from the YouTube or like anywhere else they go, they see who are these people in there, and then they try to use that. So I've blocked the chat from YouTube for that specific reason, because they're looking at who's, chatting in YouTube, and then they take those names, they go to the Facebook page and they take the names, and then they message you there and try to get you to involve. So don't do it, right? Because it's serious. There's a lot of people. Specifically, one guy sent me all the snapshots of it, and he was asking the guy to open an account for $5,000. And he's going to give him, one of them, he's going to give 10,000 pips in 30 days, right? So be careful. Right? Just be careful. Let's go. That is the first thing. Second thing is the course that I will be doing is starting on the 10th of September, which is next week, Monday. So a lot of you have been sending me messages asking me when it's starting and when you're. So if you're interested in the course, all you have to do is send me a Skype message. I would contact you. Then when you send me the Skype message, I'll send you the details. So it's MGAL Mango 457. If you're not sure whether I'm the person here, try to get me in another place. Contact me. I can even start a call to make sure, but it's me. No one else is in this. If anybody tries to open another one with this, we will know. Right? So don't get scammed. Be careful. Right? Make sure it's me before you go, because there are a lot of scammers out there. It means what we are doing is very good. There's a positive side to all of this. What we are doing is very good. Right? So just be careful, everybody. Be careful out there. Just send me a Skype message and I'll answer you. Take care. Let's go. Let's start now. Be very careful, guys. It's serious. Some people might fall for those scammers. Go back to where we were in the euro. So the pattern is doing exactly as we said it should do. I'll go back and show you that pattern again so you can remember where we got it from, how we looked at it, and why we think this was going to go back up and it was falling. Because we looked at this one, 1, 1, 2, 3, and we said they went up. So we got 1, we got 1, 2, 3, and they go back up. Now the question is, this one is an expanding flat if it is going to continue to go down. What we don't know is whether that is an expanding or running flat, because right now we haven't broken the top. So if it goes from down from here, this would be a running flat, and that's okay. They don't have to repeat the same pattern. So what you're going to do here now that you started downside is you're going to wait for confirmation for the downside. That doesn't mean that if they're going, that it is totally going down, right? They can stop right here and keep going back. But as long as you get a flag here, and you're getting a flag already, this would be a continuation pattern. And you will take every flag down until you're going to get a deeper pullback. Eventually, after the flags, you get a deeper pullback. This deeper pullback would confirm the total downside, because these flags are not confirming it. They're just giving you trade setups for a trade, right? If at any point this starts to go back up, your buy will only come above this. On the break of this structure, there's where you'll get your buy. So you don't have a buy setup as it stands right here. You're looking for a sell. Now, could this just be a bigger correction for one more up? Like I said, you will not get a flag then to the downside. You will probably get a sharp move up. And if you get a sharp move up and you break out of this structure and you start to make a flag, well, then you get buy for one more up. Right? So right now, what you're looking for basically is the downside. Dollar index. We're expecting dollar index to go up some more, which is, it's actually correcting right now this one. It's correcting this one. I don't think it's totally turning, right? So we'll have to watch the euro very carefully. We can't say that, you know, there is a possibility of this being a running flat and this totally goes up, right? You can see that 1, 2, 3, and this could totally go up. Right now, we're not considering that as yet until we get a sharper impulse here. So if you get a flag, you go, a flag, you go. When we get that bigger correction to confirm, that's when we'll confirm the upside. So for right now, you're going up, look for buy setups. If they're going to go down, like I said, if this is a correction for downside, you wouldn't get a sell until you break out. So you wouldn't get the buy either. Right? So right now, if they give you a buy setup, take the buy. You get a flag, you break, you take the trade. Pound is pretty much correcting now. Finally, we are correcting this move to the downside that they made. That move to the downside is correcting. I don't think this is enough of a correction, right? If this goes down from here, what you will find is you'll find something like this. See that there? When this was sharp, it's not enough of a correction, but if they put those three together, you get a good correcting flat in there, right? So if this goes down and you get sell and you get sell and you get sell and you get sell, watch for one more up and then look for the downside. So there's a very likelihood you're going to get this, right? Yeah, that person who contacted you there, Dijon, is not me. It's a scammer, and you can report him. You should report him to the police. All of you who get that should report to the police. It's easy. You can do online report to the police. Send all the messages they sent you and send all the IDs they give you, and do it. If more people report it to any local police anywhere in Texas, it's in Texas. Go online, find any police in Texas, contact them, send them all the info. If all of you report, they will take it up. Right, and we are going to lodge a report. So if all of you lodge a report with them, we have collected it. I have about 4 people who send me, so we have enough information on him. Right. So if every one of you send, right, If every one of you send that report, they will get him. At least you're going to stop him from fooling somebody. He didn't fool anybody very much, but you'll stop him. It's really weird, these scammers out there. So be careful. Yeah, so if this is going to go down, if you're going to get sell setups here, which means if you're going to get flag and sell, watch for the possibility of them making this pattern here, right? Because this is not enough of a correction if you're dealing with this, right? So there should be more corrections. Go back to the 1 hour. What would the setup be? Right now, you got to be careful. So we're coming down, and this could still be a correction, right? This could still be a correction. The only reason we said it could go right. See, this one came down. It's just a correction. You got to. So watch for this. If it starts to go back up and give you a flag, you will get a buy setup. But if they make the flag here, like they made that flag for us, that was a sell. We saw that. I think a lot of you should see that. You got a flag here. You're going for another sell. It's like if they make a flag, it's likely going to break out of the structure. Right, we're going to break to the downside, which means we're going to be in one of those bigger running flat patterns. Aussie? Aussie's a little surprised. We knew, remember I told you 3 waves are not all the correction. 1, 2, 3, I don't think that is all the correction, that they'll probably go back and come down. What I didn't think was they're going to break this low. We were looking for more of a consolidation within here, back up there and then fall. Well, the mere fact that they broke the low, that is a good sign that you have an idea what it's going to do, right? So you can wait for a pullback here and then drop, which will give you this pattern, or you can wait for a flag here. And if you get a flag and you take the Aussie sell, you got to be careful, right? Because it could drop slowly, pull back here and then drop. You might end up in a bigger pattern like that. So you want to really, really be careful with the Aussie sell as it is right now, right? Because the pattern is incomplete. That doesn't mean they can't go down, because you can see the same place, right? They dropped, they make it, they broke the low, then they went back up. I wouldn't be surprised if we were making a similar pattern here, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3 inside. We still need to go back at least one more time up before you can go down, complete that pattern there, and then fall. So somewhere here, there is a spike to the upside that is coming. It could be a really sharp one. So you got to be careful with this, right? It might not be over. So any sell you get here now has to be short term. You get a flag, you take the sell, take profit, because of the fact that they could make one more up before they go. New Zealand is perfect. It didn't break the low. This is the only one that does exactly what we wanted it to do. Exactly the way we wanted it to do. Because the rest of them did what we wanted them to do, but not exactly the way, because we're looking for standard pattern. This one gives us exactly the standard pattern. So the question is, are we going up for one more from here? Or does this turn out to be some kind of a running flat and then go back up, breaking the low, right? Now, same thing, you get flag here, you take sell, you get flag there, but look for the reversal. And I think this move is coming. At least you need 1, 2, 3. So if you look at all the pairs on the higher time frame, right? If you look at all of them in the higher time, you're having some confusion in there, right? Because Euro looks like it's turning to the downside. Possibility Euro is turning to the downside if you look at it, right? Looks like they're turning to the downside. We can't confirm that. We don't have a correction here to do that yet. This could go back up. Pound looks like it's turning to the downside. We know Pound has to go back up a little, but only a little within this correction. If this becomes a bigger correction in the Pound, if this becomes more of a correction here, you'll probably get an upside. You get one more drop and then go. Right? If you're going to look for a bigger flat, it's going to stay in this for a while. So even if you get the sell set up and it doesn't go very far, you get a break even, you wait again for a bigger correction, take the trade. So if this makes the correction, you get it, you got to be careful as well. Doesn't mean that it's going to go down. It could just stop here and go back up, making a deeper correction there, right? Because of the New Zealand did not break. And that's a good sign that you got to be careful. This could still go up more, right? We'll see how this behaves, because this one is still within a 3-wave pattern. CAD did exactly what we wanted to do. So let me remind you what I told you about CAD last week. If you get a sell and you got the sell, make sure when you break this low, you're looking to take profit. Take the profit, because it's going to go back up. Now, 2 things I told you the CAD could do, depending on which pattern it's making. One is we're going to go back and retest the top, then fall. That's one option. The second option, we look at this as a leading diagonal, which means we're going to get 1, you're going to get 2, you're going to get 3, and then you're going to fall. Right? Because we're expecting one more downside on the bigger time frame. So for this week, if you find that the CAD starts to do something like this, We find this pattern, you're going to get one more up. Make sure it's one more up. Take your profit. Don't expect it to go there, right? It could go there, but don't expect it, right? You got to take the profit up. And if you get another flag, you buy again, right? What we're going to expect it to do, especially the size of this correction, is going to tell me whether they're going to do one more up and then expect that fall. If you get a very small flag here and you buy and you get another small flag and you buy, they will eventually come break the top. Watch for the turning point because you're getting one more down. Let me just remind you what the pattern is, right? So as it stands right now, we're anticipating one more down. We're anticipating this to come up here and then give one more down, or we are already starting the downside. So we need to see the flat here for one more down. And that one more down could come break this low, right? You can see the corrective structures. It's not like it's difficult to do, right? You can actually see them, especially in this case, right? So we're anticipating this to go back now. Watch to see whether you get this first, right? In very rare situations, this could be the start of an up move. It could be a very slow start of an up move, but the up move pattern is not, it's not completed and it's not very strong for upside. If we're making a bigger leading diagonal to the upside, well, then we have a lot more sideways to do before it goes up and down before you can take off. Because we do have patterns like that. Not that I like to show you guys patterns, but I'll show you one. This one is called an expanding leading diagonal. So you can learn a few things. And this is exactly how they behave, right? You make 5 waves in here, you make 1, you make 2, you make 3, you make 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? When you make that 5, you need to make 1, 2, 3, which is a flat in here before you take off. So if you take this and turn it wrong, that's what I'm showing you there just now. Now, this might look very much like a correction. If you're in here and you're looking at this, you might think, okay, this is a correction to go down because they look very similar in their nature. The leading diagonal and the corrective WXYZ looks very similar, right? So that's your bonus to this week. You learned something about patterns, right? So watch this. It's a smaller version of possible when we're looking. This would be a contracting one and an expanding one. So if we get that 1, 2, 3 flat in here, we're going down. If not, we're going up, right? So be careful. Watch the pattern. Like, you know, traders, especially new traders in here, they get confused a lot, especially when I said, okay, it's going to go up, then come down, then go back up. And they're like, okay, should I buy or sell? You shouldn't do anything. If that confuses you, then you shouldn't be doing anything. You have a lot more to learn before you start trading, right? You really have to understand the whole structure, how it moves, when you can buy, when you can sell. And if you don't have a strategy to trade there, stay away from the market because you're going to get yourself in trouble, right? You wouldn't be sure what to do with the trade. You wouldn't be sure how to manage the trade. Swiss, definitely expecting one more move up in Swiss. This is almost a 90%. The only problem now is how far does the C wave come? Because this is a B wave. We're looking at that as a 1, 2, 3. The only problem is how far does this go before they go back up? Because we're definitely expecting this to go back up. Now, how complex will this part be, or how complex will the whole structure be? I don't know, but right now, watch it to see whether you're going to get a turn in the one, or if it's, I don't think it's going to turn right now. I think we're going to be in more consolidation and then go. So if you get consolidation here, you're starting to get some kind of a consolidation. I think you're going to get a bigger consolidation. If you get that, one more down, and then we're going to start to look for the upside. So you might end up in a more bigger consolidation like this one here, right in this level. I don't think we're starting the up move as yet because we don't have a very sharp impulse that's starting to move. It's going very slow. Yen has just added a little more headache to us, right? So you got this flag last week, and if you took the trade, wonderful, you got a nice trade, right? They broke out of this, but then they dropped. We were expecting another flag and should go up, right? But then they dropped. But that doesn't mean we didn't see the drop. Actually, a trade call we made in our trade room was to take this sell because we anticipate the possibility of this thing dropping. So there was a sell for a trade call here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When it broke this low, put the break even and leave it. Because of the possibility of that. We saw that possibility once we look at a bigger, higher time frame that it could happen. I don't know. I think I don't know if I showed, maybe it's in my room. I didn't show this room. Showed it in my room. We're looking at this impulse. And if you remember, we thought this one was going to break here and then drop, right? We anticipated it's going to break this out of this and then come back here, retest the low, and then tell us whether they're coming up or they're going up, because we're looking for a flat here, right? That didn't happen because they didn't break this top. We saw the downside only when we broke the low. So from here, you could have started selling. We weren't looking for sales. This turned out to be a contracting flat. And we're looking at this and thinking, what if we got a flat there and this is actually coming down? Because the structure that is in there could be either a flat for downside or a confirmation of a flag here and take off, and then we would look at this. The reason is because you have an expansion. When you get expansions in any structure, expanding flat, running flats, it's hard to tell whether you actually have an expanding flat, running flat, or whether that is a correction for the continuation down, right? Because of the nature of how the start of any structure would look like and how that would look like. So the start of any structure would be 1, 2, 3. This is also the same pattern for a flat, right? So sometimes you have to wait for enough confirmation, especially when the bigger structure gives you a second option. So if there was no second option on this bigger structure, we will definitely be buying. That's an absolute buy side. But because of this structure having this possibility in it, 1, 2, 3, and it doesn't matter how you count the waves, that is possible, which means you can still do this down here before you go back up. And that would still be within the correction that we were expecting, right? Now, it could also be that this here was the correction because of the amount of sharp waves. You're not going to go into very much details as to why, but because none of these waves are absolutely corrective, they're all very strong sharp waves with small corrections in them. The combination of how you can look at them varies, right? Because they could make different, you could connect them to make different patterns. So because of that, we are thinking this thing might not be over. And there's a chance that you make a more complex pattern before you go. Wait here. If you get a flag, if they consolidate here, we would buy. If they consolidate in this piece, not breaking the low, the consolidation cannot break the low, we would look for buys. If they drop below that low, you might want to start considering selling it, because there's a good chance once they drop below that low, you get that thing, there's a good chance you're going to retest this low. There's a good chance we'll retest this low before they go. So coming back to all the majors, every single one of them, except for 2, are showing us possibility of, they can go both ways. So when you're in that situation, you're looking for, okay, what is the more dominant side you think it can go? If it's going to be a dollar movement, if this week we see change in the value of dollar, right, then we know which direction they can go. And the one that will give us the clue would be the silver. Silver would be the clue this week if we get change in dollar price. So if it's going to be dollar movement, we would see probably, remember you should have your entry orders here, right? All of you remember that. We will probably see this drop. But after that, we're going to see this move up. If we're talking about dollar value. So we could see Euro, Pound, Aussie, New Zealand go down some more. But after that, we might be starting a big move up. We might see the yen, Swiss, CAD, go up some more, consolidate, but after that, we could be starting a down move. Watch the silver for the clue as to what could happen. If silver goes into a bigger consolidation, which means silver goes into a big sideways like this, well, then anything is possible. That means the dollar is not really changing value so much. What is changing value is each currency separate from the dollar. So you can have yen gaining value in relationship to dollar, as well as euro gaining value in relationship to, or euro losing value in relationship to dollar. It wouldn't matter which, they will all be moving independently if it's not the dollar, right? So you have to watch what silver is doing this week. That will be a very, very important clue as to when you're going to start to see the silver going up. All of them will take direction. It might be, silver will mostly be based on the dollar, right? So put this on a 1 hour. Turns out the flag. Well, why silver? Because why I'm using, it's a good question. Why am I using silver as the indicator? Because if you look at any one of them else, the capacity for them to go up or to go down is huge, right? They can go up. Euro can go up as much as one, come down as much as one, and that would be pretty normal, right? Silver does not have a downside possibility. That is why silver, right? Because silver has an upside possibility. It could go up a lot, all the way to 50, 60. it cannot go down to zero. It's at a level where the downside is limited, right? So once we hit the down, once we hit the low on silver, there is nowhere else for it to go except up. Right? There is nowhere else. It has to go up from there. If they stay within this zone and they can stay there, let me show you in the daily, they can stay there for a while before they take off. I think I've shown this chart like 100 times. I thought that would have been a no-brainer once I showed you, right? See what they did at the bottom here? See this thing here? See how long they spent there before they turn. But once you hit this price level, it cannot just go lower. So that's why silver will be your indicator as to what is going. If silver drops to this level, you want to start looking for buys. I already have entry orders there, right? You really want to get into those entry orders to buy. Because you know that from this level, there is only one direction. Right? So you got to be careful. Once they come in here, we are going to go up like crazy. If they don't come in there, which means if they stay in that sideways, like they did here, see, we're in this area. If they stay in that sideways for a longer period of time, which means if we go sideways for a longer period of time, then you will just do technically whatever trade you get in any of the currency. If the silver, instead of going down, start to do something like this, they will eventually get the drop in reverse, but they will stay here for a month, 2, 3. And that could give you enough time for each pair to set up and give us specific direction. Right now, they're in the middle of setting up to give us the direction, right? So silver could just go sideways for the next month or 2. Literally, it doesn't have to go down, right? So you're getting some downside, you're getting some sell setups. I remember we saw that, but like I said, not keen so much in the silver sell, right? Because the sell is not going to be aggressive, you might not get. So watch this. If you get another flag here, you might get another sell, get another flag, another sell. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think at some point they'll make a very fast move down and a fast move up. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if they just start doing this and you get more sideways move than the upside. But if you buy silver at these lows, you can't lose, right? Because at some point it goes back up and you can get out for break even if you want. Like the one we took here, that one came out for break even, right? So you can use that same money to buy lower again. Right? There's that level where we just cannot go lower than that. So just pay attention, and that's common sense. That has nothing to do much with technical analysis, right? That is why you can use this as your indicator, right? Gold, you can't do the same for gold because gold could go a lot more down, right? Literally, you see, we have touched this level, we can go below 1,000. It could drop below 1,000 and then come back very fast, but it could drop. Silver cannot drop that much. So from 1,000 to 800, possible. Your account will not handle that. Your account could handle the silver trade drops. So watch this. I still think we might be in a sideways move. I don't think we're breaking out. We got a breakout here, but I don't think that's a breakout. See, they're coming down again. So I think we might be in some kind of a big sideways here before we go. So you want to be careful. I don't think they're going back though. Possible, but I don't see that setup here. They're actually consolidating. So I don't see the downside. It could have a sudden drop. Don't worry. Don't try to sell it here because you're also the low. You're looking for the upside. And the daily, you're at the low. So you're looking for the upside. You're not so much looking for the downside, right? If that consolidation confirms itself to the upside, well, then that's a good trade. So keep your eyes on that one, right? There is no specific pattern for the long-term direction, any one of them. In terms of flag, yes, you will get short-term up and down. Euro-Aus, it's going up and we are about to tag the top. Once we tag that top, we will decide what it's going to do, right? Because you're in this pattern. Okay. Once they tag, if they tag the top, right? If they tag the top, then they will have to come back. You still have to get one of this, or at least they will come back like this and then continue to go. We will be looking for running flats. Now, if they don't do this, if they break the top and fall, you're going to get this trade and then go. So I think we will be more of a sideways right now. But downside, you want to look more for the downside because if you're going to do any buy, don't try to buy here. Wait for this to consolidate. If you get a consolidation, then you'll consider the buy. You're looking for a sell setup. I think we have got one. We've got 1, 2, 3. They can go down. Right? So it's either they go down or we're making a running flat, but to get into running flat, you have to have the consolidation, right? You remember that on this very same Euro-Aus likes to make a lot of running flat. You remember that. Here is one, for example, right? So you don't have to go far. So remember this one, right? We are exactly at this point, right? They have to make a consolidation, then go up. They have to pull back. In this case, you had a consolidation in here and then go up. They have to pull back, make consolidation, then go up. So if you're going to get any buy once you're at the top, wait for those pullback consolidations, and then go for the trade. Eventually, you will get this and then go. Now, I don't think they're going to repeat the same pattern here because I think we're probably going to see a different pattern. So most likely, you might start to see this falling coming back to this level, right? And then we go up. So look for sell setups because I don't think we're going to have another running flat in here. It's unlikely. Could happen, but it's unlikely. So watch the downside on this one. On the 60 minutes, right now, it's not giving you anything. It's just still at the top and it's crawling up slowly. You can see that. So probably wait until it breaks and start to go down, and then you look for trades, right? Euro New Zealand. We broke the top here, so let's see where we are in the bigger picture. And let's see where we are in the bigger picture, because this is not giving you any clue of anything, right? So in the daily, we also broke the daily top, right? So after breaking the daily top, what you can look for is at any point in time, this thing could start to turn. So you have a small flag there, which means you can go one more up, you can go some more up, you can go some, or you can pull back here and then go again, right? So what this impulse, it's dying out, and at some point, you might start to get a turn to the downside. So go back to the 1 hour. Right now, you're getting a consolidation, so it's not anything much. I think we're going to get one more impulse up. When this is finished, probably do this, you get one more impulse up. And then every impulse, now you got to be careful. Because every impulse, once we broke that daily top, every impulse could be the last one to the upside. So you'll take the trade, but you'll be very, very careful of it, right? Which means you just got to move your stop into positive, break even, and then let it go, see how far it's going to go. Euro, yen, we're getting a pullback in this. You got the first one up, and remember what I told you last week about the euro yen? We're in a sideways move. When it was coming down, they have to go back up. But you see this here, and you see this here? Be careful, we could go back up there, right? You go back up there, and then we're going to expect downside. Because right now, this is nothing, and 1, 2, 3 is not it. I don't think that's the true way for the downside is here. So you're in a sideways move. You might get some more up. If they're not going to make up more and they're going to come down, you're in a big sideways move. You can literally see that. So if you get a flag here, you can sell. If you get a flag here, you can sell. And this could literally break here, but it will not break there. Because these moves are sharp moves. Sharp moves by themselves don't really, fit the pattern. You have to have more sharp moves in there to complete the pattern. So we're in a sideways move. I don't think we're going up to the top as yet, right? Most likely you're going to stay in the sideways move for the whole week or maybe even next week. So if you get 1 hour flags, sell. If you get a 1 hour flag here, sell. If you notice they're turning and you get a buy setup, so at some point they may make a spike and turn. Once you break this top, be careful. You're heading back down. Right? So just remember that. Best thing to do is stay out of this one. Find one that doesn't have so much. This one is a little complicated as to how far they can go and how fast they can go. Eurocat, put it there. We have a little more to go. Remember last week we said we're looking for one of that. So you're getting one of that. Probably, I still think they can go a little more, right? So you want to be careful to complete it before you go down. So there's a little more up here, I think. Same thing with the Euro Aus, same thing with Euro New Zealand, same thing with the Euro Yen. You can go up a little more. Same thing with this, you can go up a little more. At the same time, they can all turn right now where they are, right? So we know Euro Aus can turn. It doesn't have to break the top. Euro Yen, maybe if it might still break the top. Euro New Zealand. Euro Yen doesn't have to. It could come down from where it is, still in the sideways move. This could actually come back. All we will have is a running flat that looks like that, but I would like a running flat that looks like this because that makes it much better. It just looks better. That's it. It doesn't have to do that, but that would be much. It gives you a little more confidence when you see a classical one, right? So watch this here. We're looking downside, but maybe a little more up. So if I'm going to be selling this, I'm going to look for a sell. I'll wait for them to break, wait for them to make a correction, and then I'll start to sell, right? So you just don't start selling right now. You're not going to get this. This is a B wave correction. We told you that from the very start. I said, once they do this in relationship to this, it's either they're going to turn from here, go back up, or they're going to break below, go back, make a running flat and down. See? Works, right? And you can do that by just, you can focus this move up here by just looking at this move here, right? Because these patterns work. Now, the idea is how do you know that? Well, you just study the charts. If you understand how to look at the patterns and all the rules that we have as to how we will know which one is going to likely come, how we look at when it's turning, where it could turn, when it could turn, what are the rules for all of that. That's what we teach you, right? So when you come into our group, and for those of you who are going to be scammed or going to be send messages that people are going to call, lurk you into all those things which we spoke about earlier at the start of the webinar. A lot of scammers out there. Just be careful, because when you're in our group, you don't only get the course, you actually get access to the group, and that is worth much more than the course. You get that for free. Being in the group for 1 year, you would see the difference. You could ask any of my traders who's in the group for a year. They will tell you, right? And that's what you get if you're not talking to a scammer somewhere. So just be careful, right? So watch this. I do think I can see this probably making a running flat here, going back up there, and then actually come. So wait for the flag, right? Go back there and then come down. This would make a classical one. Euro Swiss. Okay, this one is down here already, but we're at a point. Remember last week we said once they break this, they will tag the low again. And you're at a point where they can turn on the daily, right? So two things they have to tell us now. They're going to break out of the structure or they're going to turn, right? This thing could have one more up. We say it could have one more up here, right? Or they're totally going down. So what I will wait for is you wait for a break of this flag, go, and then you really want to trade. It's not that you're unlikely going to get that, but you could get it to break this low. Once we break that structure, we can get it to go break that low. So on the 1 hour, if you're selling, wait for a correction. We broke this low, wait for a correction, then sell, right? If you're selling there, which is a good sell last week, wait for a correction, then sell. Don't try to sell it at this point because of the fact that they can go back up one more, right? You don't want to sell it at this level. You actually want to wait for it to break through the whole structure, make a correction back up, and then you go for the sell, right? This is a dangerous place to sell this. Euro pound, it's coming down. So if you look at the bigger picture now, the question is this also the start of the downside, or do we have one more up before it goes? Right, the question is, do we have one more up, right? So let's go through back memory lane of what we were looking at. We got this drop. We start to get this, and we said, okay, guys, there's a good chance. We're looking for a very sharp move down, so there's a good chance it's going to happen now. And then it came down, but it started to consolidate, and we were like, okay, they're just making a more complex pattern. Then we got this. That we thought was going to go. It didn't go. They started to do this. We're like, okay, well, we know what you're going to do now. We're expecting them to come tag that top and then turn. Right? So what they're doing is they go tag the top, and now we're looking for this trade down. But is it going now? That's the question you're always asking. So we would know that if we get this piece consolidated, you want that consolidation you're seeing there. You want that consolidation here, and then we look for the drop. There's a good chance you could still get one more up. Break the top and then start to fall, right? We would look at that as a possible running flat. It looks very much like a running flat. We can't just confirm it as yet, right? So you're going to watch for either a flag and then you sell, or you're going to watch for a reversal. I don't think the buy is a good idea. Take it, you'll get some pips, right? Because I'm in the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, if you get an up move and a flag, you could go for one more trade. Might not turn out to be very good, but the worst case, you'll try to get a break even. But if you get the sell, you definitely want it. Right? So if this thing did exactly what we wanted it to do, right? As one guy wrote in one of the YouTube videos, ask him what happened to the pounds, the Euro pound Swiss he promised to go down. Well, nothing happened to it. It just got a bigger consolidation. And if you don't know that when we draw, when we're looking for things, we will always say 1, 2, 3. Question is, how long would this take? Go look at the pound CAD. It could take you 3 years before it goes. Now, does that mean it wouldn't go? No, it just means we don't know exactly how long it's going to take. Right? I don't have the voodoo ball with me, so I have no idea how long it's going to take. But I would look at the structure every time it's developing and tell you whether each time this could be the goal. And if you're following us on the go about 6 times when we said this could be the goal, you would still make profit on those down moves, although that wasn't the goal. So every time it makes an impulse to the downside, if you were looking for the goal, what's the worst case scenario? You will get a break even. Most time you would even make money in it, right? So if you take this go here and this is not the go, you will make money in it before it goes back up. Can they stay here for a longer while? Who knows? right? These corrections could go on forever sometimes, right? A daily, 4 hour, it doesn't matter. These corrections can go on for a very, very, very long time. So that doesn't mean you don't take the chance to the downside every time you get it, because you don't know which one is going to be it. Every time, to make a more complex pattern, they will still have to go down, right? If this is going to make a more complex B wave structure, they still have to come here and then go back up, right? So you take the sell. The worst case is you're going to get a break even, but most time you will make money because it's big moves. So go back to the 1 hour, look for your sell setup. You get the sell setup, take it, right? Vamos. We broke the top finally. So we were expecting it to just come about this level. Remember, we're expecting it to come about this level, and we're looking for a running flat. So they broke the top. Does that change the structure? Not really. It just makes an expanding flat now, right? We can still look at this as a possible expanding flat. Could it be that this was the end of the move and they're going up? Could be, but I don't see that pattern right now. I don't see this as an impulse that ends the move. So we will be looking at some point from here. We will be looking for this to start coming back here, right? Some point this thing will stop and start to come back to break the lows. Now, for all you know, they could go back up after they complete 1, 2, 3. We would like to see them come back to at least this level, and then they can probably go back up. Now, if you go to the daily and see, is it a possibility that you can make a much bigger correction here and then go back up? Yes. There's a possibility. Here is one. You had 1, 2, 3. And then you go up. We got another one. You could get 1, you could get 2, you could get 3, and you could still go back up. So how far can this go? I don't think that one is going to go break this top. You see, this one was 1, 2, 3, right? This is 1. I think the 1 ended here. So that means we are in the B wave, which is this one, and the B wave already broke that low. I don't think we're going to go break that top, right? So before we break that top, we should start to see the downside. Before we break this top, we should start to see this coming back here. And if you get this 3 wave here, then you can definitely go back one more up, right? You got 1 up there and you got 1 up here. You got this pattern in here. Could go back 1 up, and then you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we will see this has to come down because this is your impulse. See, that doesn't change. This is your impulse. This is your correction. Remember what I taught you the first time you joined me anytime, and I repeated a number of times. If you're here the first time, there is one basic element you need to learn. 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as that. What makes it difficult for you and what makes your life difficult? This. That's what we teach you. The ability to understand what's happening in there. To master the art of understand what corrective structures are, how they look, how they can behave. How, every time you thought you're getting one simple 3 wave and we told you, no, it's not that simple. It is not that simple. But when you look at the chart, it will be that simple. You take this chart and you go back, you will see how simple it is. It is that simple. It is that simple, right? And it is that simple. How easy it is? Yet you say, hell, when I look at it, I don't see that. Well, you're not going to see it while it's happening because you don't have the skills and the rules to understand what to look for while it's developing. You will see it hindsight. We make forecasts because we know how to forecast it. We understand it, and we know which one we are likely going to see now. That's the difference between what you see and what we see. The ability to forecast it, to tell you what is going to come before it comes, not after it comes, before it comes, right? So I'm telling you before it comes that we think we're looking at this to go up. We told you this was going to go up to do that. It happened. We told you it's going to be a running or an expanding flat. It happened. So we're telling you when that happens, I don't see them breaking that up. I see them coming here and then going back up or breaking through. Well, by the time they get here, we will know for sure whether we're going to get one more up or whether we're going to go down. The magic works. So you are about to turn soon here. Watch this one. We're about to get some downside. Remember, we think also that the euro should come down because we broke the top, right? So you got to watch this here now for turning points. It's not turning as yet. And that doesn't mean we can't go up some more. We can go up some more. There's still a lot of space to get to the top. So you just watch for when it's turning, when it gives you the impulse, the correction, and you go. You get the trade. Pound New Zealand. You're getting a correction here. You're getting a correction here. You can see that this is easy. You're getting this. It's going to come here, probably make one more up and then come down. This is a correction. This might not be the fall. That's more of a correction for upside, right? I don't think that's the fall. You have to check inside here to see if you have a running flat, then that could be the fall. But most likely it's a correction that will continue to go up some more. Okay. You'll get a sell setup there though. 4 hour. So Punkad and the daily is at a very, very interesting point, right? It's at a point where you can go up one more. This thing could go up one more here, right? That shouldn't surprise us. There's a possibility for that. It's not showing that they're going to go right now because I don't like the fact that they pull back so deep. When they do that, I'm looking for one more down. Right? We're looking at this most as a consolidation for one more down because of the nature of how it actually turns. I don't want to see it turning like that. The turning like that is not a good one. So I'm thinking we're going to get downside. We're going to get one more low first, right? This one should start to drop, give you a correction. You might start to see one more low, and then we will see. When they break this low again, they will tell us, are we turning? Do we get a reversal, or do we just get flags for continuation? So wait for a flag here and look for sell setups, right? If they don't give you the sell setup and they just consolidate there for a long while, well, you get one more up. The one more up, you just take the profit immediately, right? So you get profit, you take it. Pound Chief. Pound Swiss also is at a point where they can turn if you look back at the daily. I think we did this also. And if you remember this one also, I told you it's going to go down because when it was going up here, so you be careful, this thing has to come down. It has to break this low. So the question is this the one going to break the low now? Well, we actually broke out of the structure. It doesn't matter what chart you use. Some charts has this as a shorter one, some has this as a shorter one. It doesn't make a difference. You're breaking out of the structure in all of them now. So if we get a bigger consolidation here, there's a good chance you're going to get a bigger consolidation here now. You're totally going down. And we're coming to break this low. This chart was posted on TradingView, I think, about a year and a half back. If you go back and you look at it there, you'll find it. I don't know why it's not in my thing here. It normally shows up here. But it doesn't show up. We posed this one when we broke that. That this is coming to retest this low. All right, let me put that back. That is the low you're expecting them to go and test. Well, because we already have a complete pattern here. See, we have this complete pattern. You have one up, you have 1, 2, 3. I think all of you can see that. You just didn't see it when it happened, right? And you got this. So you've got 3 waves up. 1, 2, 3. We're coming down. We're getting a 1, 2, 3 correction. The question is, are we going now for this one before they go back up? And that's the only question you have now. Wait for the setup here and sell. So let's go. Go back to the 1 hour. We've got a very sharp move here, right? We expected this to make bigger consolidation. It doesn't. It didn't. So what you're going to watch is this might be the start of a bigger consolidation here before they go, because the consolidation we have is pretty small. This will be like the end of the structure, and then you're probably going to go up. So watch this piece. If they start to break the low, it doesn't mean they can't break the low. I will wait to see if they consolidate. If they consolidate and break the low, we'll be looking for a big running flat, right? A bigger running flat. If it goes back up here, look for buys. If you break out of this, look for buys. Because then that becomes more of a big sideways move that is making. I don't think we're going to go from here right now. We're going to go down, but they need to make a bigger consolidation. Something like they did earlier here, maybe even a bigger one than this. This bigger consolidation here. Remember that big 3-wave pattern they had in there? This one. All right. 1, 2, 3. That big 3-wave structure. All right, so we might be in a bigger sideways move starting to happen here. Be careful. Watch it. You're probably going to get a buy setup very soon. You're going to get a buy setup here very soon. Pound Yen. Pound Yen definitely has some more up. It's coming down very sharp, but remember the running flat we were looking at? I think they may go up one more. And we're looking at this. 1, 1, 2, 3, and we're looking for this to come back here before they go down. So This is a little same thing. Like I think the punks, well, it's not the punks. It's one of the other punk charts has this chart one, whatever. We can look at it like this. I think we're just making a consolidation. I don't think they're turning us yet to the downside. So because this is a little short, so probably look for some more up here, look for some downside, and then you might see the consolidation. So look for a consolidation here. If it is going to drop, if you get a very short small flag here, and it started to drop, you take the trade, put it to break even. If it goes, well, possible, but like I said, it's rare. You normally find this one going up more to the top there. I think the punk cat has it, or one of the other charts has a similar pattern that we think has to go up some more. So we probably want to look for this. We're expecting a little more up and then the downside. We're looking for another running flat here, right? So this should come and then down. So if you get it, you're not going to get a buy setup here unless they make an impulse and a flag. So to get a trade, you have to probably wait a couple hours, 10, 12 hours to get a good trade here. 10, 12 hours consolidation before you go, right? They're starting to consolidate here. So if you get a good consolidation, take one trade at a time if you get a good consolidation. Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen broke, and I think this one was expected, right? The Aussie Yen is in a big downside right now. That trade started, I think, something last week from this point. Last month, I think, from that point, and then you had that one. You had this correction that broke, and we told you they're likely going to make a bigger one down. So if you look now, we want to wait for any flag or correction you get to sell, right? Any flag or correction you get to sell. So now you got to just take sells, but you take them on lower time frame and take off your profit. Don't keep it, because we've started this leg down, and the question is, how far would this go? It started somewhere here, so how far would it go? We already broke the low. They can just keep going down for a while, but eventually it's going to come back up, right? So what you want to do is go back to the 1 hour and look for any flag you get, take the trade. I don't think they're turning us yet. The turn is too early. They'll probably give some more downside before they turn. Every flag you get in the 1 hour, you can sell. Sell, take profit, move to break even. New Zealandian, we're gonna turn on this one definitely. Just one more low they're gonna make, right? Once they come to the top, they didn't get right up to the top, but we were telling you to watch it when it comes exactly at the top, right? When they come there, because when they come there, they make one more low, they make one more low. Didn't get exactly at the top, but they make a new low. So wait for a consolidation. When you break this low, take profit. Don't keep it beyond that point. Now, can it drop beyond that point? They will have to break this structure. Possible, yes. Will it break beyond that point? We don't know. So that's the warning place where you want to either move your stop very tight or you want to take profit, because from this area, you could get a very big move up, right? If you look at that, from that point, it could turn out to be a very big move up, especially in the daily structure, right? So in the daily structure, you have 1, you're getting 2, you're going to get 3. So every time they break that low, you have to be careful, right? Every time they break that low, you have to be careful, because then they can probably go back up. What is that, Dijon? One of my traders just put out the video for you guys there. One of my traders just put out the video for you guys there. Why am I on YouTube? Sorry, let me just close this. So watch this, guys. I'm not sure what the video is under. Dijon will look at that later. Yes. So watch this here, and then you're going to look for this one up, right? So every time you break that low, you got to be careful there. Let's go. Canadian. And then we wanted it to tag the top and then turn, right? They came very close to tagging the top. And now it looks like they're turning. I don't think this is the turn as yet, right? I also don't think they're turning as yet. I still think there's a chance they're going to go break that top and then come down. So you've got to watch this here very carefully. Watch this very carefully for a reversal to the top, right? We might be looking at a possible running flat, come back and take the top out and then go. So if you get a correction here, only in the break of this you trade. If they make a sharp impulse, you see they can also crawl their way up. I don't think they're going to crawl their way up. I think we might see more of a sharp impulse, a flag, and then go. So if you get this, you trade that to the top. If not, watch it. At any point, this thing could break to the downside. So you want to be very, very careful with this, right? Watch this here, what it's doing. It's likely going to break the top before they come, because very often they do. Break the top, and then you have them move to the downside. Bigger picture, you can see that. All right, come on. Expecting to break the top and then come back, right? Come break this top here. If they don't actually break the top and drop beyond this level, watch here. If you get sell setups, watch this level, because then that will be a more complex B wave before they go, right? So watch that level. I don't think we're making a complex B wave there. So watch this level here, what you're getting. If you get a flag, sell, take profit. If they go up, buy to this level and then close the trade. Swiss Yen. Swiss Yen is the best one of them all. You get a very good setup here, daily, right? So we said, let this come break the top. We wanted it to break that up. They actually broke more. They're breaking pretty high. I don't think it is the start of the upside as yet. You got to be careful, right? Because if this is all the corrections, this could be crawling its way up like that, right? Making this pattern. This one has a big correction. There's somewhere here you're going to get a bigger correction, right? That's one option. The second option is this is not looking like that. This is looking mostly like downside, right? So if you stayed here and they make a correction in this one, right? You get a small correction there. We will go with breaking the top. And by small, I mean a daily correction, right? We will go with breaking the top. That means we're buying it to break the top because they broke out of the structure. That is only because they broke out of the structure. If they fall, make a correction and start to drop, you will come to retest this low before you go. This is still a correction in the making. So the question is 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, and then go, right? Which means you can get both of those options. So go back to this 4-hour. If they consolidate in there, if you only get a consolidation, which means you get sideways, you drop, you get sideways, you drop, you get side, and it turns out to be a consolidation, look for upside. And you want the 4-hour consolidation to confirm, not just the 1 hour. So you should be looking for sell setups now on the 1 hour. Look for sell setups on the 1 hour. Okay? Come on. Look for the 1 hour sell setups. Put that to break even and see whether you get the drop or you get sideways. Sideways means you get a break even, you get a drop, you're in a good trade, right? So because we broke out of this structure, both ways are possible, but you want the 4-hour or 1 hour consolidation. Sorry, that was Swiss Yen. Let's go. Aussie Swiss. The Aussie Swiss chart. Let's go. 4-hour. You want to stay out of Aussie Swiss because it has dropped quite a lot, and even if you take a 1 hour trade there, it would be dangerous. I'll wait for a 4-hour pullback, which means you don't want to trade on lower time frame. You want it to turn, pull back, and then see what it's going to do. It doesn't look like it's turning right now. And selling in a 1 hour there will be dangerous right now. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, so we are breaking here slightly. We're expecting this to go up one more, and very likely it will. Breaking the trend line in this case doesn't mean anything very much. We're expecting this pattern in place, so watch this here, right? It could come more. We're not expecting this to be an expanding flat. 1, 2, 3. We're expecting this to go up from here, break the top, and then come down, right? Now, if it is an expanding flat, they will come lower to this level, then go up and then come down. So if you get a flag here, sell. Sell until you break this low. Take profit off. Every time you get a trade, you take the profit off in the 1 hour. But if they turn, you can keep the trade until it breaks that up because it will go break that up. So if you find a turning point here, right? So my traders, remember we looked at that, it happened. If they reverse here and make a flag, you look for that trade to keep it to break that top, because that would be the trade. If you get a down trade, which means if you get a consolidation here for a longer trade to the downside, take that, take profit. Take it, take profit, take, because they are going to make that one more up, right? The one more up is definitely coming. You just have to be very careful as to when it's going to come, right? Because that's an incomplete structure. I don't think we're getting a big running flat in there. Aussie CAD. This has one more to make up to, one more upside to go with. We're just coming down some more, and they can go. This becomes a big running flat now, right? So any flag you get, sell. Any flag you get, sell like this. Any flag, remember we said you sell and take profit, because you're going to get one more up. That wave will come, and then you'll get this complete pattern before you go down. So if you're selling Aussie CAD, you have to sell it very carefully, which means every trade you get, you take profit off. Every sell trade you get, you take profit off. And every flag they give you and you sell, you take the profit out of it, right? So watch this, be careful. You get a flag, take profit out of it. New Zealand CAD. This is breaking out slightly. Let's see. You might get the sell setup here, but you got to be careful. They might just come and break this low. But once they break out of this, you can go for that trade, right? If this gives you the sell, they're only coming to break this low to complete this, right? Take the sell. I don't think we're going to make another running flat here. That's a question always. You're going to make a running flat. You get a sell set up on a 1 hour there, sell it, moves to the low, take profit. You get this, it drops, move to this low, take profit, right? Because eventually this goes back up, right? New Zealand, Swiss, we'll skip some of them because we'll be running out of time, right? I spend more time on the major ones because they're more important. New Zealand, Swiss, you want to stay out of it until they turn. They're about to turn, right? You can see that this is about to turn, so wait for the turn or stay out of it, right? It's about to turn here. Let's go. CAD Swiss will skip, copper will skip. There isn't anything much in copper. I'll just show you. There isn't anything much to trade there. Come on, it's slow. Yep, you're breaking now, so you can start to looking for downside once they break, because you're in this pattern. We just thought they might have gone one more up. This is what you have. Come on, there's a pattern like this here, right? There's an up move there, and it's coming. I don't know what happened to the charts. Yeah, you got it. We've got that up one. We've got a down one here. We've got the up one. You can look for sell setups. Actually, you can look for sell setups now. It's going to go down. It's set to go down. Natural gas. Natural gas consolidating, still in a big move. I would wait for them to come back down. I don't see, this is a sharp move and this is a sharp move. That's not a trade. You don't have a trade set up there. You need a consolidation somewhere. Oil. Okay, oil is going up. You might get one more up here. There's a good chance you could get one more up. But you got to be careful, because at some point this thing will start to correct itself. Right? At some point you'll start to get a deeper correction, even if it's going to continue. So if you get a trade here, like you get these trades of one trade at a time. The one you want to focus on, the oil one, is the UK oil. The UK oil is showing a very good chance that they're going to come back to this level before they go up. We're in a big daily correction. So let me show you this one. We're in a big daily corrective structure, and there's a good chance they will come back one more down, right? There's a very good chance this could come back one more down to this low before they go. So if they're going to break out, let it break out and pull back. I would wait. I would not take that buy. I would wait for it to pull back. It's going to pull back much deeper than where you're going to enter now if you take the trade, and then get the trade to the upside. That would confirm the upside. You see this, when it broke out, you wait for that pullback, and then you trade it, because now you have confirmation of the upside, right? If you put this here in the breakout there, that's a consolidation there for you. You get a consolidation there, you get a confirmation. If you jump in something that just break out slightly, you could end up having it come back here and then go. So we're in a big sideways move here. This is easy, right? Remember I showed you all those easy ones, one up, consolidated, consolidation, go. Well, you're getting one of that now. Life is becoming easy, right? And it's pretty good. It will be much more easier for you if they actually come here, break this low, and then turn. Because now when you get into the buy, you can keep that buy for a very, very long term, because you'll be trending up once you get that buy, right? Very likely after that, we'll be going up for another big impulse. S&P 500. This one just wouldn't turn. It's very stubborn, but it has to come back, right? It's making an expanding flat now. We broke the top. So if you're buying, you can buy. Like I said, if you're gonna buy these, you just have to take profit every time. Don't keep it for long term. Every time you get a flag, so if you took that flag, you have to take profit. They're making another flag here, and if you take this flag, you take profit, right? It looks like they're making another flag here, kind of. And if you take that one, take profit, because at some point this is gonna make a sharp move down. It's making a big running flat, so you will get a sharp move down. I doubt whether this is all the flat. I don't like this to be all the flat, and I don't think it is. Nowhere in this chart we have this as being all the flat, right? This piece here. That's not all, right? These are sharp moves. So this one is the one that has to come back before they go. Right? You have to get that down move, and it's likely going to happen. Next. Next, come here. You're likely, it's kind of going sideways here. Probably just stay out of it for a while because you got one down, one up, and you're going sideways. Right, so these sideways could come for a long time and then go back up. Just wait some more. It could stay there for a long time. Let's go. Oh, no, I will not that one. Let's look at Bitcoin. I'm going to look at Bitcoin and Ripple for you guys, and then we'll go. Bitcoin is confirming upside right now. You got the only thing you want to watch is if they will want to make an attempt one more down. I don't see that attempt for one more down. So I think we broke the low here. So I think we might be in the go. Watch your flags, and buy all the flags you can get. Right? Ripple pretty much looks like you're going to get some sideways more and then go. So Ripple looks like one more down, right? You're in this structure here. See this? So it looks like you're going to get one more down here, something like this. And then you start looking for the go. I don't think this one is going to break the low. We have one sharp wave there. So this downside is unlikely going to break the low. You can start to look for your buys from there, right? To the upside. It will give you one more sell if you want to take the sell at short term, and then you go look for the buys, right? Nifty, let's take a look at Nifty. And we'll call it a day because we're already more than an hour on it, right? So Nifty is still going. All you have to do is move your stops. And every buy you take at the top there becomes more dangerous. It's consolidating right now in the 1 hour. You'll get one more buy. Every hour flag you can take, but you have to move your stop. So this was one, that is one. This is making one now. It looks like it's making, it's not complete. You can buy above the top, let them make a consolidation. They'll come back here and then go, just like they did this, right? Come back and then go. They do this, pull back and then go. So if you see that structure, you can buy above the top, right? I don't think you're turning it yet. Looks, yeah, it's making a flat kind of for one more. Oh. So, okay, guys, I think that's it for this week. And we could take a few questions if you guys want. Don't ask me to show another charts. Any other questions you have? One person is saying something. I think one was, sorry, we forgot about the cost of production. Silver can go a lot lower. No, it can go a lot lower because the cost of production is the most important thing. It could go low, but even if it goes lower than 10, it will not stay there very long. Just think of a situation whereby silver falls to $5, and you are a hedge fund manager with billions of dollars. What would you do? Right? How much can S&P go up? When they're making running flats, it's hard to tell. So every time you get a flag, you buy, but take profit. Don't keep it. Don't keep the trade to the upside. Yeah, or if you're the Central Bank of Russia and China and silver is at $5, what would you do? See, that is why it physically can't go there. It just wouldn't go there because, if you have money and you see it there, you would buy a lot. That's the whole problem. And by all the buyers come in, it's going to just go crazy. Who is going to pay everybody who buys at that price? Somebody's got to pay them, right? So it's not going to go there. No, that price is impossible almost. If it goes there for a split second so that no trade can be triggered, right? That's the thing. It's not possible. That's the reality of it. So make sure you just take it. 1 second. Let me just move this out. So okay, guys, everybody, have a good weekend. Have a good week ahead of you. Let me see how to keep patience during consolidation. You should stay out of the consolidation and wait for the breakout to trade. especially if you don't have the patience, because then, you have to have confidence to have patience in there, confidence and experience, right? So, okay, guys, all of you take care, have a good weekend, and remember, stay away from the scammers because there are a lot of them using my name. I am not going to write you an email and ask you for anything. Just remember that. I'm not going to contact you on Facebook and ask you for anything. I've never done that and I will not do that. I'm not writing people and contacting them to come take course or open my account to do. I'm not doing that. That's out of it. Anybody says they're using my name, tell them thank you, goodbye, not interested. Not me. I don't do that. You have to come to me if you're interested in the course, right? Only if you come to me, then you get the answer from me. So don't let people trick you. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. I'll see all of you. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.